Hey guys, I've been learning how to throw my shit in some sort of a semicircle. I can't say full circle right now, so let me know if it's moving. Um, Welcome guys, you'll see if you're on the visual, we're in a different location right now. I'm in my little whimsical living room because I was just having a great time. Do you know what I was doing before? I was doing a painting by numbers, and I was like, you know what? Why don't I go and set up in the whimsy corner of my living room? Guess what's in the teapot? Did you say it with me? Chamomile tea, of course. It was a toss-up between that and an Earl Grey, but I'm feeling extra feminine and flirtatious and sexy and hot today, so chamomile it was. Welcome to the Sarah Elizabeth Show. This is episode 6, and this episode I'm going to call Stop Being So Boring, Let's Have a Little Whimsy. I am not a poet, okay? Well, you know, some people do believe I am, but I've actually written a little something here that I want to read to you. Because usually I'm like firing on all cylinders and just going on a whim. Like, this podcast is quite improvisational, but I wrote a little something with you guys in mind, so I'm going to read it just as like kind of a little introduction to today, because I was just feeling crazy and I know you guys level with me. Also, by the way, please do get yourself a little drink. I have a lot of new faces on the pod recently, which has been making my day so much, so I want to say welcome if you are new. I've got a matching thong because I'm never wrong. And I love you all so much. You're all the best. Like my OGs, love you all, but also just so happy that so many new faces are finding the podcast. Welcome. You're all hot because I kind of attract hot people. That's just how it goes. So I wrote, in a world of trends, of phones, of influencers, of routine, of doom, of depression, of fear of man, and a constant pressure to fit in, we have lost the art of whimsy. Whimsy is creating more than we consume, eccentric expression, thinking for ourselves more than we absorb others' opinions. We've become boring subconsciously, and yes, we are boring to other people, which consequently attracts other boring people, but most importantly, we are also boring ourselves. We are boring our souls, and we can't even blame anyone but ourselves. Our souls feel dead. I declare an emergency. Does this sound like an Arctic Monkeys song? I'm going to keep going. An emergency whimsy intervention, and that is going to be today's episode. Listen, one thing about me is I love to have a sprint through a cornfield. I know that was corny as hell, but I'm not done, so just stick with me. Let's not be delusional. Life is a drag for most people. Jobs they hate, stress, bills, bare minimum bandits sucking the life out of them. Nothing to look... Oh, hopefully you're getting sucking and see. Nothing to look forward to but an Aperol spritz on the weekend. You enjoy one night and then you get slapped with a hangover just to do it all over again. I can't tell you all to just up and quit your jobs and become whimsical flaries. Flaries. There we go. I knew I'd slip up. I was doing well. Whimsical fairies just like flop around. But what if we made it, and by we I do mean every single one of us on this podcast, because I've formed a little cult. We made it our mission to add a little bit of magic to every single thing we do. Think of what you could attract. So today I'm going to go through the steps of that in this episode and how you can be your own person again and step into your truest, most authentic, confident self and stop being so boring. Can I get a round of applause?
You are now tuned into the Sarah Elizabeth Show.
Allow me to be your Edgar Allan Poe.
Life's a bitch, and so am I.
This show's a bit like getting high.
Let me be your anchor when your mind's a little flimsy. So without further ado, welcome to the whimsy. That'll do it.
Of the applause, yes. So you see, what I was doing was, because I used to be very good at reading in school. You know, when they would pick on you to read, I would always just, raise a little casual hand, because I knew when it came to Inspector Calls, bitch, I could damn near freestyle. I turned the class into a fire in the booth. I was so good because I would never stutter over a word, and I would just... And then sometimes people were like, oh, Sarah's reading again. I was that bitch. I was cool. I didn't get invited to any parties. But here I am using, obviously, my skills for good use. I do want to do something really cute because, obviously, guys... with my podcast and especially like my Patreons and stuff, I have such a cute little community where I feel like I want us all to be mates. Like, do you feel like we're mates? Because I feel like we're mates. So I thought, just before I get into the steps and stuff, would you guys, and I feel like we should do it like we're in a class, introduce yourselves. I want to know who like listens to me. I feel like I want to put like faces and names and ages and areas even, not your actual address, don't worry, to the people that listen to the pod. So in the comments of wherever you're watching or listening, YouTube, Spotify, whatever it is, can you give me your name? Doesn't need to be full gov or anything, just, your little first name is fine. Maybe a little nickname if you're feeling silly and whimsical. Your age, because I want to know the age demographics. I know I got some young baddies, but I also know for a fact I got some girlies in their 40s and 50s, and I'm not saying you're not young, but I'm saying you better represent, because that's what I'm multifaceted. I don't have an age limit on my pod. I don't. So you name your age, where you're from, because this will be interesting, because then when the baddies are reading the comments, they can be like, oh my God, Julia from Stockport. That's around the corner. Let's go for a drink. Do you know what I mean? Louisa from Leeds. Bethany from Barbados. Hey, Jessica from Jamaica. Let's go. And then also include a fun fact about yourself, please, like we're in school. You don't have to get too bogged down with it. It could be a favourite food, best sex position, worst thing you've ever done in your life. Don't incriminate yourself. Just let's introduce each other. Introduce yourself, because I'm going to read through every single comment. I'm going to reply to you all as well. I'm going to be like, oh, that's not far from me. Let's go for a drink sometime. Just before I get into it as well, I wanted to just read out the definition of whimsy. I use the word whimsy like I'm literally going insane. I am, but the Oxford Dictionary, sorry, it's important to say the full word, isn't it? Has a definition that I don't love. I like to dabble in a bit of the Urban Dictionary. It just aligns with me a little bit more. So I compile both for this. Whimsical describes something quaint and fanciful or playful, often in an amusing or lightly eccentric way. It refers to actions or ideas driven by sudden whims or caprice rather than logic, often resulting in unpredictable, charming behaviour. It implies a light-hearted, imaginative or magical quality. Isn't that just absolutely orgasmically beautiful? And then this is what got me. A feeling that tickles you in an intimate way, making you want things that you didn't know you wanted and getting you excited about doing those things. Isn't that just the most, like, that is all I ever want to embody. Being tickled in an intimate way. Well, no, and don't get it twisted. No, but I mean just like that feeling of just magic again that we lose because life can become such a drag and so boring. And so yeah, that's what we're going to dabble in today, guys. But just before I get in, I've got 2 Dear Sarahs, so this is where people can submit a little dilemma or something that's on their mind, and we just go through it before I get into the steps because some of them are quite important. Also, by the way, if you're on YouTube, smash the hype button for me. It really helps the algorithm. You guys always do that. You're like little sergeants that clock in and all. Ooh, let me sip on the Let me sip on the chamomile tea. Guys, do I have any listeners from Jamaica? I'm being dead serious. It would make my day. I have got like a bit of Jamaican blood. I cling on to the 1% because I really want to go to Jamaica. And I'm not joking, guys. I'll have to ask my mum for fact checking right now. But do I have any Jamaican baddies? Please tell me. I'm dying to go to Jamaica. Glasses on, chamomile tea in hand. Let's inject it. I've recently gone through a breakup, and even though it was only a year, it's rocked my world. You rock my world, you know you did. Michael Jackson film out soon. Oh, do you know what? Don't speak to me when it comes out for a long while because I will be insufferable. Sorry, I know you're talking about your breakup. I'm being tone deaf and I'm really struggling to get over him. Please, can you give me your best breakup advice to help me decenter him? Okay, listen, guys. My best and only advice to get over a breakup is something that every single one of you need to do actually now, even if you're dating someone and you don't think you're ever going to break up. And I don't want you to think of this as preparing for a breakup, but listen to me and look me square in the face. If you make that man your entire life, and I don't care if it's the best man in the world, 6'7", kind, caring, compassionate, makes you bus, drives you around so you don't have to get the bus, ticks all the boxes, I don't care. If you make that man your life, if you break up, your whole life will feel like it's ended because it has. However, if you pour into every other area of your life, nurture your relationships, other relationships outside of him, build a life outside of him while you're with him, develop your individual style, your vibe, then when you go through a breakup, I'm not going to say it's not going to hurt, it will. But guess what? The life that you built while you were with him will get you through it. But if you make that whole man your entire life and don't have any sort of life separate from the man, of course it's going to feel like it's ended because it basically has. You made him his whole life. And that was the first hurdle. Whew, the mic's steaming up from the fire that I'm spitting. I understand, even if he's a really good man, you think that's your everything. And as you progress in a relationship, don't misconstrue my advice being like, just see him once a week. You want to spend a lot of time with your king, and if that's a good man, that is going to be your reality. But I don't care if you've been married for 5 years, you better have your own life. You are still an individual person, and you need to pour into your cup more than you're pouring into his. In fact, when you start dating, he should be a shot glass and you should be a big massive Stanley. That's the measurement. Don't let me get up my cooking skills. Don't let me get up the measuring jug, bitch, of how much you're pouring in. Be your own person when you're in a relationship. And you know what as well? There's literally no downsides to this. Being your own person, having your own shit. Sorry, I can't do that tonight because I'm with the girls. I know we've been married 5 years, but girls' night, That's attractive to any good man, by the way. I'll say this till I'm blue in the face. The only person that's going to be like, what the hell? She's got her own life is an abusive rat. I said this in the last episode. Good men that are meant to be in your life are not attracted to lifeless puppets, lapdogs who just are like, you're my whole world and I don't even know what I like to do besides you. I don't know what I like to do besides you. Start developing yourself and you become just this amazing person. Nurture your female friends. Nurture relationships outside of him. Just be your own person, form your own opinions. You don't need to become a little clone of your king. And by the way, the last thing that I want to be like pushing onto you guys is just, kick him to the curb. This is not that kind of podcast. I love so much. Love is the most beautiful thing and I cannot wait to be married. So don't think I'm on some man-hater vibe. I'm actually going to give you some ways right now that you can start building your own life and pouring into your own cup, even if you're in a relationship right now, because that is easier. Well, this is actually what the whole episode is going to be about. It's easier said than done, but I want to shake you. I just want to shake all of you like who get attached to guys, because I'm coming at it from an angle of like, I understand you, I get it, but I cannot, just having your own life and your own vibe is so magical. And sorry, then the other Dear Sarah again, who, this is from my girl Kels, who's on my Patreon. I'll talk more about that in a sec. I saw your story the other night, and by the way, this was a crash out story that my friend told me to delete. I had 3 drinks, Miguel had just performed, and I swore he was looking at me, bitch. I was 500 feet away. And I had a slick back, I looked like a boiled egg, hard boiled actually. And Miguel was a distant, faint speck. And I still swore that he was looking at me, and he was. No one's going to tell me he wasn't. Coffee in the morning, hey, that's me, Miguel. So I was drunk, and I put this on my story, and my friend said, I appreciate this is a good point that you're making, but you're going to regret this, honey. And I'm glad she did that, because boy, oh boy, it was shambles. But unfortunately, you saw it. I saw your story the other night about friends not showing support being deeper than it is, and how they speak about you, and often means that the way they speak about you in private contradicts how they have been with you in public. Could you talk more about this? By Christ, I can. And this is what you've got to understand. Some people can never support you publicly because of how they speak about you privately, even some of your friends. So if your friends aren't supporting you publicly, I'm going to tell you why it is deep. It is that deep. Pass me the snorkel. Sick of people saying it's not deep. I'm going to read this right now, by the way. So this is a post that I saw. Some people cannot support you publicly because doing so would expose what they say about you privately. This isn't about shyness or timing or jealousy, and it's not about staying out of it. It's about misalignment. Public support asks one thing, that someone's private conversations match their public values. Not everyone can meet that request. When a person has already shaped a version of you behind closed doors, standing with you openly would require correcting themselves, and that correction comes at a cost, admitting they understood you, misrepresented you, or benefited from a narrative that no longer holds. So silence becomes safer than the truth. Distance becomes easier than repair, and neutrality becomes a convenient disguise. This is one of the quieter lessons of discernment. Silence is not always about fear. Sometimes it's about preservation of reputation. Fuck off, I had a generational run then, be gone. Or comfort of the story they told first. If supporting you publicly would unravel their private positioning, they will choose restraint over integrity, not because you're wrong, but because truth would require accountability. Discernment isn't about demanding loyalty, it's about noticing who can stand with you consistently without needing to rewrite the past. You don't need universal support, you need aligned support. Pay attention to who can say your name the same way, whether you're in the room or not. Call the fire brigade now to put out the fire that's lit up on my mic. This is a fire in the booth, I'm shaking. That post is by Lessons in Discernment. I wish I could take credit for such a fire shambles. I've always said, like, I feel so, I've always been, it upset me so much whenever friends wouldn't show public support, and I've been told for years it's not that deep. Pearl, pass me the goddamn snorkel. In fact, an air tank, because I'm going all the way to the coral reef, the Bermuda Triangle, bitch. I'm snorkeling down, bitch. I'm going to turn into I'm so deep, I'm going to turn into one of those those cavemen that have like happy, healthy families and then still go into a hole the size of an eye of a needle. I'm going to turn into that bitch. It is deep. And don't let people tell you it's not that deep. And you know those little bandits that say to you in person, like, oh, I've seen you smashing it. Seen your post, you're smashing it, aren't you? Or you never smash a like. You never smash a share. You're probably smashing me, man. I don't have one. I'm going in crazy. No, but listen. It's people that are friends with you, a lack of public support ever, never sharing anything, never showing anything public, and then excuses, oh, I'm never on my phone. But you've been viewing first in my story views since 5,000 years before Christ. So you do use your phone, don't you? And I've always thought that was weird. So if you have a friend that is doing this, you need to use your DDD, which is Divine Diva Discernment. That's what on the podcast we call Divine Diva Discernment. Your friends should support you publicly and in rooms that you're not there. And a lot of the time, if they can't do that ever, there's a sign that they've been talking about, there's conversations that you haven't heard. So start an argument with your friends today. Hey, it's the only way. No, but why can't friends just be normal? Why can't we all just support each other? Do you know what I mean? And sometimes, yeah, it is jealousy, by the way. I'm sure it will be, but this is a good fact. But I am going to tell you now how you can approach this as if this is happening to you, because I've approached this multiple times and actually had quite a few stories of how it's worked out. So this is how you can approach this. I would definitely, absolutely confront them and just say, listen, like, as someone who, like, we're close, it would mean a lot to me if you, well, I just say it straight up. And then it's just always very telling to see what they say, because a lot of the time it will be some sort of excuse, like, I just don't really use my phone that much. But that, you know, bloody hell, it's always, yeah, that's just the most tired. That excuse is absolutely tired, mate. I'm telling you right now. So that's my two little things. Woo! I can't wait to get into the tips for today. I feel like I'm on fire. But guys, by the way, okay, so this, I need to tell you about this. If you were here for last episode, pretend you would have heard about it. But guys, so basically, long story short, as I've said till I'm blue in the face, the last 6 months have been the most transformative for me, glow up wise. I feel like I've had the biggest physical glow up because I've been doing things so many different, with like the way I'm eating, the way I'm fueling my body differently. I'm just feeling differently. I'm actually like things that I didn't even know were possible with like my physique, and I've come to those discoveries. Mentally, I just feel like I'm shining, my skin's better, I feel like I'm glowing, and there's just so much shit that I've been doing, my routines, my systems, and I've been like, I'm just yearning for a way to like share it with all of you, because you guys mean so much to me, and I'm like, oh no, I want to. And then also, by the way, about 2 years ago, I did the 75 hard challenge. But by the way, yeah, if you heard last week's episode, I would have briefly touched on this as well, but I need to tell you about the update that I've had with it. Okay, so I did 75 hard like about 2 years ago. When I did it, I did notice like this doesn't align with like just a feminine, sexy, like there was just tweaks. And as a personal trainer, like I said, I did mention this in the last episode as well, but I'm a qualified personal trainer. I worked as a PT for 3 years. So the bitch has got the knowledge. Do not play with the bitch. I was like, there's tweaks I could make. So with all of this, I decided to do something with all of you that we can have, so we can kind of just be on this sexy glow up together, because summer is coming, and I do hate the whole notion of like summer body, but it is around 75 days to like the peak of summer, the peak of like shaking that ass on a yacht, yeah. So I announced this officially last week, but the reason I'm so excited today is because, just let me cook. I'm saying let me cook like you guys have interrupted me, you never do. I decided to start something for all of you called 75 Sexy, which is my version of 75 Hard with my own rules that I have been following, where we're going to have a physical, mental and spiritual glow up all together, but we're going to do it all of us together, holding each other accountable, live classes, masterclasses, workshops, check-ins, doing it all together, playlists, like all the little bits, and me running you through everything that's worked for me, including like the workouts, even the stuff that I do at home, the routines, and obviously as well with me having the grounds to do that, because I'm a qualified PT. And I said this in the last video as well, but I used to do these lockdown live classes where I went on live with all you guys on Zoom and stuff, and we did these like power hours where we would like work together and then we did home workout classes, stretch classes, and I was like, I'm gonna bring that back. I don't care, I'm bringing it back, and that's exactly what I've done. So guys, I've put together, so already, I'm not joking, over 55 of you have joined, right? And by the way, if you saw the last video, we haven't started yet because this week has been just like on the Patreon. So by the way, yeah, this is happening. I want every single one of you listening to this to do this with me. Now, even if you feel like, oh, Sarah, I can't adhere to a 75, I'm too busy. 1, you don't know the rules yet because I set up my own rules. This is my thing. 2, I don't mind if you want to just be like a silent person who consumes the content and you do a few days, but then some of the days you can't. Whatever is going to work the best for you, but maybe some of you want to be more hands-on. Maybe you benefit from like showing your face in lives or chatting to me one-on-one, whatever. But then some of you might be like, I don't even want you to know I'm here, but I'm here, sort of thing. Whatever works for you. But this is all going to be taking place on my Patreon. And by the way, I did think about this. I was like, oh, I could probably genuinely charge about like 50 quid for this. Absolutely not. I'm not charging any more than my normal Patreon. My Patreon is £3 a month or $4.50 on the Apple app. So all of this is on the Patreon right now. This whole week, everyone who's signed up. So all of you who've signed up, by the way, you've just been going through how to set up going through the rules I'm going to put on the screen right now for the visual some of the sneak peeks of what is on the Patreon. I've been going through how to set up. There's a tracker that's been put out on there. There's a whole toolbox. The toolbox is everything that you're going to need for the whole week. So I'm going to be putting like recipe ideas. We're going to be collaborating on stuff. Then, of course, the Zoom live links. So I've put an availability form. There's just so much stuff on there. We're going to be doing like live classes every single week. That you can join, and then if you can't join the lives or you don't want to join the lives, there's going to be masterclasses and workshops saved that you can follow along in your own time. And then if you can't make the lives, they will be saved as well, because also I'm aware people will be joining at different times. So some of you might want to start your 75 tomorrow, but then some of you might see this episode a week later and be like, I want to join. The good thing about Patreon is the back catalogue, so every single thing is saved on there forever, so you can go back and start whenever. So someone who's seeing this video in a month's time is like, this sounds sick, what a shame I've missed it. No, you haven't. Everything is still on there, and that's what I love about Patreon. If you're unfamiliar with Patreon, it's just something where everything is all together. You can join with live links, you can have group chats, you can message me one-on-one, you can message other girls, and then everything's in one place, and it's an app. And also as well, no commitment, you can cancel at any time, you can dip in, dip out, it's so chill. So it's the best thing ever. So for my girlies who have been on the Patreon this week, going through all the content, I want you guys to actually start your 75 tomorrow, because I've put the tracker out. But anyone who's seeing this and maybe is like, oh, have I missed it? You haven't missed anything, because you can start at your own pace. We're all going to hold each other accountable in the group chats. I also want you guys to take some before pictures, not to show me or anything. Guys, I don't want to spend the whole podcast just explaining it. I just want you to go and have a look on the Patreon and just see. And like I said, if this is too much of a commitment for you, I want every single one of you to do this with me. And like I said, this isn't some sort of thing where I'm like, please just join my Patreon. You will see, I'm genuinely doing this because I want us all to finish the 75 days, but also as well, the way I've designed it is that it's going to be sustainable for after anyway, and just genuinely be like, I have glowed up, and I want every single one of you, because like I said, even if you're like, oh, I'm not going to join the lives, you can benefit from everything else, or you can literally, it's at your own pace, and that's what I love about it. Patreon is linked in the description of wherever you're listening and watching. I would go and sign up now so you don't forget, because I don't want you to miss out. And also, by the way, there's so much content on there already for this. Get on sooner so you can start going through the content and really preparing. And like I said, my girls who are already on it, I want you guys to start your 75 days from tomorrow, if you're okay with that. And then anyone else who joins, you will see, whenever you're ready to start, all the stuff is there. You're guided completely through, and then every week there's going to be pumping out classes, there's going to be pumping out masterclasses, we're going to do all sorts of. I want every single one of you on it. I'm going to let you go and do it right now. And also the thing is, I want you all to make friends on there. That's part of the reason I almost think it'd be so special and heartwarming for me, not only for you guys to have such a big glow up, but also to be like, I've met new friends, like this is beautiful. Patreon is Aftercare with Sarah Elizabeth. You type that into Patreon. But by the way, here's a little hack to get it for, because it sometimes shows £3 or sometimes £4.50. To get it, which is just an Apple thing. If you go to the web, if you click the link, wherever I've linked it in the descriptions of wherever you're listening and watching, and you go to the web before you've downloaded the app, this is. So if you sign up through the Apple app, if you go to like Apple and then say, I think that's where it does $4.50, but if you buy, you can do it for £3 if you go to the web link. It's literally the craziest thing, and it doesn't make any difference. I don't know why Apple do that. But then once you've signed up and made an account and paid, and then you download the app and log in, you can use the app. So it's just really crazy and weird, but it doesn't make too much of a difference anyway. But I just wanted to let you guys know about that, because I want my bitches to be on the budget, you know what I'm saying? Go and sign up, and then let's get into the app. Okay, I'm so fucking excited. I'm genuinely so excited, because also I get to meet you guys if you want. I mean, you can join the lives like with your camera off and everything, but like how exciting that we get a community. And that's why I'm like, join while you can, because as the podcast gets bigger, like down the line, I might not be able to do anything like this again so intimate, because who knows what we're going to do. Another girl, this is my first point for expanding the whimsy. Let's get into the main app. Let's get into the juice of it. A girl said to me, basically she said, I feel like I am just, this is a girl who sent in another question on the Patreon. There's a form on the Patreon where you can submit your dilemmas, by the way. So this girl said to me, I feel like I'm just really boring. I'm okay with it, but I feel insecure, especially when dating. I'm quiet, I don't get excited by much, and I'm naturally just quite boring. Whenever I see someone like you, I realize how boring I am. Is there any tips for stepping out of this mindset? The first thing I thought was, are you boring, or have you just never sat down and figured out what you like? Are you boring, or do you just not like what other people like, but instead of taking the time to figure out what you like, you've just labeled yourself boring? Are you boring, or do you just consume more than you create? Are you boring, or do you just not know what thoughts are your own anymore because you're too busy consuming other people's thoughts and opinions and Are you boring, or do you just never do anything for yourself, and then you don't even know what you like, and you don't even know who you are, and you don't even have no sense of self anymore? Are you boring, or do you never do anything that's just fun? Are you boring, or do you get all your opinions from the internet and then just call them your own because you don't even know what thoughts are your own anymore? I don't like this at all. I don't like that you've called yourself boring. I don't like that you've accepted that and you've been like, I'm just naturally boring. No one is naturally boring. I tell you what, right now, boring is not quiet, reserved, like, the book nerd. We're not in high school playing like, we're not in high school. This is not that is not boring. Those people are actually some of the most interesting people ever. Just because you're more quiet and you're not like a flamboyant, hey, like me, that doesn't mean you're not boring, by the way. The only people that are boring are people who are judgmental, people who take all their opinions from the internet, people who just consume and never do anything for themselves, people who are horrible, people who judge other people who make videos online such as like, if you're doing burgundy at your wedding, it's not timeless. They're boring people. Boring people are people who copy other people. Copycats, they're boring. So if you're those things, yeah, you might be a bit boring, but the good thing about boring is not a permanent state. You're just dabbling in a little bit of boring town right now. You may feel a little boring right now because you've not dabbled in whimsy in a while, but that's why we're fixing this right now with my whimsy tips. But don't label yourself boring, because by the way, other people are going to find you boring now, and you're going to attract a boring man, and you're going to become a big boring bundle of boredom, and you're going to keep being like, I'm just naturally boring. I'm naturally boring. What a sick way to speak about yourself. Don't ever do that blasphemy on my shit again. I love you. And this girl, I love her, she's on my Patreon, but get a grip. You're not boring. You just never, I guarantee right now, you've just never figured out what sets your soul on fire. And you don't like what a lot of people like, and you've seen, that person's really like this and I don't like that, so I must just be naturally boring. You've never dabbled. This whole episode is going to be about how you can get your whimsy back and stop being boring, because you're not. And don't you dare call yourself naturally boring again. And all of this boils down to knowing yourself, because we've lost the art of knowing ourselves. Just on the topic of getting to know yourself, you know what I think is crazy? Getting to know others before you've even got to know yourself. Going to get to know a new guy, getting to know all what he likes before you've even given yourself the same courtesy. You don't know a thing about yourself. You don't know what you like. You don't sit with your own thoughts, but you sat getting to know this guy thinking, but he needs to get to know me. But you haven't even given yourself you haven't given yourself the respect of being like, I'm going to get to know me. So you're letting other people get to know you before you've even got to know you. That is wild. You don't know what you enjoy. You don't know what sets your heart on fire. You don't know what your vibe is. You don't even know what your opinions are anymore. But you sat being like, I want this guy to get to know me. Do you even know you? Come on, we got to switch it up. You don't try new things. You don't enjoy things. You don't really enjoy your own company. You don't sit with your own thoughts. Why should they? But you want that from them though, don't you? And you should almost not want to get to know anyone else before you've fully got to know yourself. And listen, if you don't know yourself and you don't know what you like to do and you don't know what you enjoy and you don't know yourself, what makes you think you're going to be any good at picking guys, by the way, because you don't even know what you like. So you sat with guys, I don't know, but I just can't figure out what I want, so I'm just going to date. But now you're making all these horrendous picks because you don't even know what thoughts you're on, you don't even know what you like, so you're just all kerfuffled and befuddled. Guys, I just need another top up of tea. I swear to God. You know what I've always said? This is why liking yourself before you go on a date is so important. How can you expect someone to like you? You don't like yourself. You're insecure, right? You're really insecure, okay? And I level with that. But how can you go on a date and expect someone else to like you when you don't even like yourself? You're asking them, I want you to find me really attractive, but I'm really insecure. I really don't like myself. But I want that from you. Respectfully, you're asking something from them that you can't even give to yourself, and you deserve to give that to yourself. Whoa! Just and a lot of people will say, well, everyone's insecure and everyone doesn't like themselves sometimes, so it's not that deep. By the way, it is that deep. Pass me the snorkel, bitch. Like I said, give me the gas tank. I'm going deep because it is that deep. And a lot of people are like, well, I'm so ugly and disgusting. But you need to find me hot. You need to find me attractive. But oh God, I'm just so ugly. I could never wear that. But I want my partner to find me hot. Ooh. I'm so difficult. I'm so difficult to love. No, I don't love myself because I'm just. But you need to love me. That's wild. Let's take a sip on that tea. But a lot of people are like, but I've just hated myself for years. So that's gonna take too long to undo. But I need to start dating because time's running out. You're gonna rush this, and then your whole relationship is gonna be riddled with insecurity because you're fighting this battle. You can't even love yourself, but you want them to love you. But unfortunately, if you show someone how to feel about you by every day being like, I'm just so insecure, they're gonna start feeling a similar way. They're gonna start maybe seeing what you see. They might start seeing you through the eyes that you see yourself through, which is not positive ones. So that's why and every single one of you watching, you are easy. I want you to start thinking you're so easy to fall in love with. Olivia Sheen. Yikes. But you are easy to love. Don't think that you're not. You might not feel it right now, but like, you gotta love yourself before you get into the damn relationship. I'm telling you right now. There is going to be people on here who don't think that. There's going to be people who do say like, well, the right guy will teach you how to love yourself. I'm not going to sit here and say that never happens, but don't bank on it, baby. Don't banksy on it. Because but I would like to say, I don't want to be a pessimist, but I would like to say that more often than not, it actually goes the other way. And it gets it worse and we plummet. We go to the depths of the earth. That's when it gets deep. You want to talk about deep? Oh, you'll be deeply plummeting, sweetie. But people rush. This is what, right, I will get onto the whimsy points, by the way. I feel like I'm just inspiring. People rush dating before they've got to know themselves, because this is all about getting to know yourself, basically, like, and not being boring. This is what this is about. But people rush getting to know themselves. People rush relationships because they feel like they're running out of time. We're all getting older. You might be pushing 30, pushing 40, pushing P. I don't care. We're getting older. Time is running out. You've got a body clock. You want to date. And that's why a lot of people rush dating. I promise you right now, a proper good relationship cannot be rushed. You better not rush. Well, it can be rushed. But then you know what will happen? Your soul will be crushed because it will go to shit. If you rush, whoo, I'm on fire. Call the brigade. Do not, if I can give you one piece of advice, I don't care if that clock is ticking, rushing dating before you, like I said, I've got to know yourself and love yourself, and I've really put those things in place, is going to be one of the biggest mistakes. Because like I said, the time is going to pass anyway. Also, that's what you do. You rush, you think, oh, but I'm getting older, so I need to rush a relationship right now. But you're then going to put yourself in a position where you're dating people that aren't right for you, which is then going to waste your time down the line and get you in even more of a mess. So it puts you even further back from finding the person that's really good for you. And you're wasting all this time that you could have been spending just really getting into that good position where you're actually going to attract someone that you actually really want. And by the way, time spent getting to know yourself is never wasted time. Time with a dusty who is absolutely just going to plummet your mental health is wasted time. Hate to say, I know you're going to learn a lesson, but let's be honest and true. You could do without that. But time spent getting to know you is never wasted time. And like I said, I address the body clock. I'm not going to sit here and pretend women haven't got a body clock. But like I said, everyone's got a clock. Men have a hairline clock. People have clocks. There is a body clock. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, just, if you want kids, just, don't worry about it. You can be 55. I'm not going to pretend that there's that element of pressure, and that can be really hard because if you want kids and you have to. But I'm just gonna continue to say it. Like, if you rush a child for the sake of a body clock with someone who's not fit to be a parent, that's a train wreck as well. You've heard the stories; it's all true. On this podcast, none of us are rushing anything. Okay, none of us. We're not rushing anything. And when I say you have time, yeah, because I know I just said it. Let's address the rhino in the room. We do have a body clock. When I say you've got time, I don't mean time to bed rot and dilly-dally your life away. I mean, if you're going to do anything right now that is not wasted time, it is learning exactly what you want, learning what makes you tick, raising the bar, becoming fully in love with yourself, doing all these things, doing my 75 challenge, doing all these things. That's what's going to be good stuff. A lot of people think they're too old or they're past it, and then they don't work on their dreams because they feel like, oh, it's embarrassing, like I don't need to do it. And I guarantee right now every single one of you watching has some sort of childhood dream that glimmers right there, but you won't work on it because, one, it looks embarrassing if you try it now and you fail and you think you're pushing 30 or you're pushing P and you're not there anymore. Let me tell you this right now. You don't want to go after your goals right now because you're getting a little bit older and you don't want to fail, because that would be embarrassing, wouldn't it? It'd be embarrassing if you fail. But let me tell you this. Trying and failing is no more embarrassing than sitting doing niche, which is what you're doing now. So the time is going to pass anyway, so you might as well do it. And like I said, even if you don't succeed to the level that you thought you were once going to, you're going to learn some stuff, you're going to have some fun, you're going to set your heart on fire again. Or you're going to sit and just wonder, what if I did that? But I never did. Come on, clock it. So now I'm going to say, why am I going to talk about expanding your whimsy? What does this even mean? Because here I go again on my little spiral. Because I wish I could just say to all of you, right, quit your job that you don't like. We know I'm not going to do that. There's a realistic, like I said, I know I said, I don't like the phrase realistic in that sense, but a lot, like, I can't just tell you all to get up and quit your jobs. So the reason that injecting a little bit more whimsy is key is because whimsy is in the small things. These are small changes that you can do which are going to add a little bit of magic to life, get you enjoying life again, get you curious, spike your levels of curiosity about yourself, start setting your soul on fire, start being like, I love that, I should expand that more. This is the art of getting to know yourself. So this is going to sound literally insane, don't care. Random whimsical actions I've done this week, where amidst my busy schedule, which has been quite boring this week, it's given me just random whims of like, oh, I love life. Life is sexy and hot and fun. Drinking an Earl Grey tea. Just stick with me now, like I said. Earl Grey and chamomile for me, the two teas that just ignite like a feminine, intimate vibe. Love an English breakfast tea, but that's a builder that catcalls you, that tea. That's a bloke, that's one of them whistling on the building site teas. I love it. Well, I don't love that, but I'm saying I love that tea, but you got to dabble in a bit of Earl Grey. Stevie Nicks, Echo and the Bunnymen, Mark Knopfler and Eric Clapton. These are all artists that I recently discovered I really liked. And why am I talking about this? Because if you only consume chart music and only consume For You page music, which, by the way, some of it's good, I'm not cussing it out, I'm just saying, if you never dabble in maybe a genre you're not used to, an artist you've never heard before because you're so used to doing all the same shit, but the same shit gets you the same results, and it is that deep, you're never going to find what you really love. These are some of the best artists ever. I'm obsessed with all of them now, but it took me going on a little whim and a random Spotify soiree. My Patreons, I'm going to add the playlist to the toolbox folder. Sorry, I am going to get you all jealous on the Patreon, because I'm sorry, I do want every single one of you on there. I'm selfishly, because I want to talk to you all the time, because it means that, like, in the middle of the podcast, well, in between the podcasts being put out, I can have little chit chats with you. But yeah, expand your music taste a little bit. Dabble in a genre you've not dabbled in before. Do arts and crafts. I've been doing some arts and crafts this week. Why are arts and crafts so powerful? It forces your brain to switch off from the shit you've got going on. It's something that you just do for the sake of it. It's not something you do just because, it's not something you need to do. It's something you want to do. And it's a nice little therapeutic thing for your brain. It's fun. It heals your inner child. It's really feminine and cute. I did some paper mache, and then I stuck some gems to a piggy bank. Bitch. Big bank. Bank okay. Feel sick that I did that. Phoneless baths. This is taking my whimsy to a new level. Getting in the bath. I used to get in the bath all the time and just scroll in the bath, and I was like, this doesn't even feel right. A bath is meant to be a nice, sexy, immersive experience for me bod, and I'm scrolling, just getting absolutely flustered by what I'm seeing. So I've now no phone allowed in the bathroom. I have my speaker set up, but I listen to guitar solos. Type in the best guitar solos of all time. I'm talking Pink Floyd, Comfortably Numb, I'm talking Sultans of Swing, and play them when you're in the bath. Maybe even pop a finger. No. Well, actually, yes. Phoneless baths, absolutely gorgeous. I tell you right now, just to sit with them thoughts, let them thoughts simmer, bask in the water. Love that. Hot vegetables. This is something recently I've discovered. Now, listen, I've forced myself to start liking veg because this is my new vibe that I've been on with nourishing my body. But I've recently discovered that having your vegetables hot with a drizzle of honey is just so sexy. Hey Mother, I'm just filming something. Sorry, I've been quiet today. I did want to ring you, but I've just been on a bit of a whimsical flow.
Get on with it. Bless you abundantly, love. As long as you're okay, and we'll speak soon.
But I wanted to ring you, but I hope all went well today.
Oh yeah. Well, listen, just don't worry. We'll speak soon, treasure. Love you a lot.
All right, as long as you're feeling okay. Are you okay?
Love you.
Love
Bye,
you.
treasure.
That's the whimsy merchant, my mother. Sorry, my my phone cut out because someone rang me. Yeah, nourishing my body. This is my new vibe, nourishing my body. And I think so. By the way, just on the topic of hot vegetables, I feel like as you get older, your tolerance for immaturity just gets thinner and thinner, and red flags get different. Because I was talking to this guy, and he was taking quite a few boxes, and he told me that even he doesn't like vegetables, and he never eats them because he just doesn't like them. And I just thought, get a grip. First of all, let's address the rhino in the room. If you don't eat vegetables and you're pushing 35, you've never tried a vegetable because you don't like it, you don't give any head. You don't give that slot. Let's be honest, that's not happening. First of all, you can't even eat a celery. I don't know what I'd be waiting for. So I don't know. I did that for that reason, but also as well, you don't eat veg ever, and you're 35 years old. I know you're blocked up. I know your intestines are backed up. You're blocked up I know you're jammed up like a traffic jam on the M6 when you're in a rush. You've never been. whoa. Like, first of all, yeah, you're always constipated. You don't like any veg. And then I just thought that notion of you don't eat any veg even though you know it's good for you. You're definitely going to cheat on me on Ibiza. I thought, this is really immature, and it bothered me. And I thought, goodness me, am I overreacting here? I would have rather him said, well, to be honest, I would have taken kinder to someone saying they had a criminal record and they've never eaten veg and they're 35 years old. That triggered me. Because what do you mean you've not eaten veg? And I said to him, like, have you dabbled a bit? Like, you know, even in like the Mediterranean veg trays. You know what I'm talking about, with a bit of drizzled honey. Can you improvise a bit? Don't like veg. And I just thought, I'm shaking. And also the concept of being a fussy eater but not a fussy sleeper. Let's get that. Because I would never judge anyone's promiscuity, but I know people who don't like, you know, really, really fussy with the food, but not fussy with the day or fussy with the poor. That's a concept. That is a concept. You won't eat a carrot, but you would eat someone's I don't like that. Back to my point. Oh my God, yeah, guys, this is what I did this week. So this week, my mum was banging on to me about how I should be eating spinach, and she's upset that I don't eat spinach. I said, listen, I like veg, but that's where I draw the line. So then I thought, you know what, I'm going to improvise. And I sauteed my spinach. I cooked my spinach in hot water. I added some chili flakes, some honey, a little bit of soy sauce. And I made this gorgeous hot spinach mush that was quite heavenly. And I thought, look at that. Hot veg is where it's at. And that is a gorgeous recipe. Genuinely, I'm not joking. I have spinach now. When I have my little rice bowl, I have this gorgeous rice bowl, spinach. I'll put the recipe in. Sorry, I know I'm going on about this, but I'm going to have me dream by the end of this. I'm going to have every single one of my podcast listeners on my damn 75 challenge. I don't care. I'm going to put the recipe in the recipe folder. Hey! Go to charity shops. This is another thing that's been really injecting me with whimsy. I love just having a little mooch, looking at tat. Also, bring back bric-a-brac. I love just having tat and bric-a-brac around. Why did I get this tangerine ornament with legs? Because I wanted to. Random whimsy. And I just love going into a charity shop. Like, it's just so inspiring and fun. And this is where you can start thinking for yourself and thinking, I like that. Oh, I don't know whether it's on trend or not. It doesn't matter. I like that. Inject that into your whimsy. Another thing that I am going to reject on this podcast, people that say, oh, what coat are we getting this winter? Can we bring this back into trend, please? You shouldn't wear charcuterie and burgundy at your wedding. What? It's not timeless. It's not timeless. What bikini are we all going to be wearing this summer? Don't care. Where's Rick? Where's your vibe? Where's your personality? Where's your whimsy? Where is your sense of self? Where are you? What are you talking about? So any type of content like that, not interested. Block, block, block. Not joking. Is it okay to wear this to a wedding, or is it timeless? Do you know what you sound like? I couldn't even say it without getting banned. No, I could. A dickhead. For a second, right? Just stop for a second when you're thinking of something like, oh, what do you want to do that's not influenced by a trend or anything like that? What do you want? And if you can't think in the minute, you need to declog, and that's what all my content's been about. You need to declog, because we've got to the point where we don't even need to touch grass anymore. We need to like go and run. Do you know, remember that when Margaret Thatcher or whatever her name was said, running a field of wheat? We need to go and touch some wheat field. I'm all right because I'm gluten free, but you do. Remember, who was it? The politician that was like, oh gosh, we were really naughty. We just, we used to run through fields of wheat. Do you remember that? That genuinely altered my brain. It wasn't Margaret Thatcher, was it? Let me know who it was. Hillary Clinton or something like that. I came across the most brain rot debate the other day, and someone went, if you choose burgundy and charcuterie colours at your wedding, it's not timeless. Or if you choose teal and this at your wedding, it's tacky. The colours you use for a wedding need to be timeless. Don't care. Where's Rick? Never have I ever in my life looked at someone's wedding pictures, by the way, and thought, oh gosh, that's not timeless. The colour scheme is off. Because do you know that you sound like clowns in a circus? I'm not joking. You sound like absolute clowns. Did I say charcuterie and teal? Charcuterie and burgundy? Charcuterie. Making up colours now, are we? Shut it. My wedding has to be timeless. My husband, he doesn't even like me, honestly, but the colour scheme needs to be timeless. If I was you, I would cut off my wrist. Do you remember that song by The Weeknd? Into emergency, declare an emergency because you've lost it. You've lost it. You can say this is my disclaimer. You can say, I don't like burgundy to a wedding. You can say that. But why would you make a statement going, if you choose this at your wedding, tacky, classy, and put other people down? Like, people choose whatever the hell they want, and just whatever you like. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks and what anything else is trending. This is going to be how you're going to like develop your sense of self again. What do you think? And then the less you consume content like that, the less you'll be warped by it. Because now whenever you see burgundy, you're going to think, oh my God, someone on a podcast said it wasn't timeless. What are you even saying? And also the thing is, when you have your own whimsy and your own vibe, you cannot be copied. And by the way, you should never ever be upset about being copied, because the thing is, you can try to copy the recipe, but the sauce will never taste the same because the chefs are different, and that is the tea. And like I said, unless I give you my exact recipe, even if I gave you the exact recipe, right, to do the exact same, and you copied me exact, it would never be the same, because there's one ingredient you don't have, which you can never have, which is authenticity, which can be felt, by the way. Energy and authenticity can be felt. So I've seen before firsthand when someone's copied someone and it just doesn't read quite the same, even though they've tried to even do it better, because you were not an original, and energy is a feeling. It's not something that can be cut in CapCut. Clock that. So don't even worry about it. I know it's infuriating when people copy you. First of all, it's a compliment, because you need to get your own vibe seriously. But remember, even if at first, their video might do better than yours, whatever, you got to remember, people feel energy, and the right people will find you in your tribe and shit. And that's why, like I said, I'm not scared of anyone copying my shit. I've seen it a few times, but you are nuts. Me, period. It will never read as fully authentic. You can't copy authenticity because you're not the person. You're never going to do it the same, and it's never going to read the same because it was never your idea in the first place. So if you're snatching people's ideas, it's just never going to feel that way. So don't even worry about that. The main thing as well that's given me a personality, but also this is the main thing that's given me the art of discernment and knowing when someone's off for me and someone's not right for me, or someone's a fake friend, or someone's like in a relationship is about off. Genuinely, the main thing is mastering the art of just doing nothing and being with my thoughts and being completely content with that. A lot of people are scared to just sit, no input, no phone, nothing, not even any music, and be alone with your thoughts. It's scary, right? But you need to master the art of being like, what do I think about this? Not, oh, my partner has done this. I saw someone on a podcast say that they felt really weird about that. No, how do you feel? Or are you projecting how you think, how someone on a podcast told you to feel about the situation? Have you actually thought about how you feel, or did your friend say that she felt a certain way and you've now thought that's the way to feel? Because you're receiving so much input and so many thoughts, you don't even know what thoughts are your own. Come on. So you've got to get comfortable being by yourselves. And also, by the way, sitting alone with your own thoughts is a number one whimsy action that I want you all to do. And this is actually one of the steps. Hey, I can't say it. We're going to do it together, by the way, guys, on a live class. I'm going full crazy with this. I'm sorry, I know I'm promoting it a lot, but I swear to God, all of you are going to be on it. When you have never sat with your own thoughts and got comfortable with it, it's scary, because you will have some bad thoughts. You'll have a self-doubt thought. You'll have a jealous thought, by the way. You'll have a I want him back thought. You'll have a I miss him thought. You'll have I miss the day thought, and then you'll have let's take it there. You might have a suicidal thought. I don't know what position you're in. So you're going to have dark thoughts. But the thing is, when you're constantly distracting yourself and never allowing those thoughts to even sit, it's not that you're going to sit in the self-doubt. I just mean you're just distracting it. Then it's not that the thoughts not existing, not having the chance to play out. You're not having the time to talk yourself through it. You need to talk yourself, and you know how I feel about being talked through something. You need to talk yourself through the thoughts and sit with them, even however uncomfortable they are. Get to know yourself. Every little nook and cranny and crevice. Don't ignore stuff. And this is how you're going to become a person that's just so magnetic and gorgeous, because you know yourself really, really well. Also, just a random thought. A lot of people say jealousy, I hate jealous friends. By the way, can I just say this right now? Jealousy is not jealousy, every single person that's felt jealousy, and don't sit and lie. And it's not for you to feel jealousy. You're not a bad person for that at all. So let's break this down right now. Sorry, someone said to break it down. Feeling jealousy, completely normal. Where you take it to a bad friend is when you act on it. I'm feeling a little jealous today. My friend's just got an opportunity, so I'm not going to I'm not going to share, I'm not going to show nothing. I do believe that's the wrong way the right way to go about it is to be like, ooh, that's my friend, so I am happy for it. It's because you can be a little gel and happy at the same time. Feel it, but then correct yourself. Talk yourself through it. Like I said, a lot of this is going to be talking yourself through stuff. You know what I'm saying? You got it, baby. Don't be jealous. Ooh, let's stop that before that continues. But still support your friend and be the friend, be the person. Allow yourself to feel the emotion, talk yourself through it, but don't take it out on the person when it's not their issue. And like I said, another thing that's made me really good at discernments is learning how to think for yourself again. I know I just touched on this before, but you need to think, hang on, how do I feel? What's my thoughts on that? Or like I said, has my phone told me what to think? Put your brain in use. Your brain is a muscle. It's all good growing your glutes and building your bunda, but you're not building the brain. You don't skip brain day if you know what I mean. And speaking of brain day, that's what's coming up as well on the live classes. Sorry, I'm being insufferable. But guys, whimsy, right? This is what I want to say. Get to know yourself, and getting to know yourself goes hand in hand with injecting bits of magic into every day. For example, you thinking, right, Sarah, I've got to work all day, but I know that I've got a bit of time in the morning, which usually I just sit on my phone and scroll. You're not going to do that anymore, by the way. Not if you're rocking with me. No. You get a little short amount of time a day, you're going to inject a little bit of whimsy. You're going to be like, I'm going to have a bath tonight. But you might think, I'm just going to quickly rush my bath in and out. No, you're not. You're going to turn the lights down. You're going to dim it. Maybe even crack on a few LED lights. Get them ordered on Amazon. You're going to shuffle a new album. You're going to light a candle. You're going to light that Joe Malone candle that's been gathering dust because you think it's too expensive. You're worth it. You're going to do all these extra things. Today's not an exciting day. I've just got my routine, but I'm going to think of how I can make it a little bit more exciting. And I'm going to figure out what I like. You know what? This week, I'm going to try a new craft or art activity every single week. Sounds silly. And I'm going to see if anything I really enjoy. Because you know what? Who knows? I might enjoy sewing. I'm going to order an instrument off Amazon and learn to play an instrument and pretend to be a pop star and see if I can strike up a new hobby that way. I'm going to do something new with my friends this week. This week, when something upsets me, instead of Googling how to feel or immediately ranting to a friend, I'm just going to sit with my thoughts and think, what do I think about that? Or maybe I'm going to hit the journal. Come on, get to know yourself. It's sexy. Be an individual. Don't be afraid to be your own person. Even if, like I said, you're in a really close-knit relationship, you need to build on you outside of them, and you're going to be a better person for that relationship consequently. Woo! I'm on fire. Guys, woo! Have you enjoyed the? Let me smash a like if you've enjoyed the app. And also, by the way, also tag me on your stories if you listen to. Obviously you can tag my account, Sarah Elizabeth, my main account, but also my podcast account. I'm not even gonna say goodbye till next week because I'm gonna be partying with you all on the 75 hard this week because every single one of you are gonna join. Patreon is linked in the description. You know that it is. So, get on my Patreon. It's linked everywhere and everywhere. I'm going to chat to all of you in 5 minutes time over on there because the group chat is popping off and I want every single one of you doing it with me. I love you all so much. If you have enjoyed the episode, please show me some love on the app. And same time as always here. Also, by the way, get me on all my socials because I do post loads of updates and stuff and I just don't want you missing out on anything. Share with a friend. Also, by the way, little thing, get your mates doing the 75 with you if you want, because then it's going to be even more fun in classes and stuff when you're all just boogieing together. But I can't wait to carry this on with you all. And of course, I've got a brilliant public episode lined up for next week. I love you.